Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Oh, Kirk Herbstreit, you son of a gun, you. What are you doing? He's attacking the Tennessee Vols and their NIL deal, and then, of course, they had to go after Nico. But, of course, he makes his millions, and that's okay, I guess. But let's get into this nonsense. First of all, national media attacking UT. Can't believe it. I'm shocked. That never happens. All right, Kirk. What a name. Kirk Herbstreit. Ought to be Herb Kirkstreet or something. Kirk Herbstreit. Blast state of NIL in college singles out Nico, our guy. It says Kirk. Kind of, again, what kind of a name is it? What? The only Kirk I know, there was a Kirk Douglas, and then there was Captain Kirk. Maybe his parents were fans of Captain Kirk. I don't know. It says Kirk has watched the developments around name, image, and likeness enough to come to the conclusion that it's not a sustainable model. Kirk shared his thoughts with the LA Times. That's a fair-minded paper, that's for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we just kind of deal with Los Angeles with the whole Brew McCoy situation where they wouldn't sign the NPO, the non-participation paper that would have taken them about 12 seconds to sign it, and he'd have been eligible months ago. But their boy Lincoln Riley was too busy, like I say, spending his money, all his millions of dollars. He's probably got a problem with NIL too. And of course, he's at USC because he ran away from the SEC. He found out Oklahoma was moving into the SEC. It scared him to death, so he took off.
He buggered off. So he has, he's scarpered.
Brave Sir Robin ran away.
No!
Bravely ran away.
I didn't.
Yeah, old brave Sir Lincoln. But yeah, he's not happy about it. He said it's rubbing him the wrong way. That's not what the NIL was about. It was about Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, because realize Kirk was from Ohio State. That's where he played. And it's for marketing opportunities. It's not for a recruit to get money. It's terrible for the sport. It puts these coaches in weird spots. You know, these coaches that make 5, 10, 12 million bucks a year. It's terrible for them. I can't imagine the stress they're under. And then when they lose and they get bought out with about 15 million bucks and they're set for life, and their family and everybody that's ever been related to them set for life, it's just awful for the stress they're going through. It says the ESPN money, the Fox money, it's going to the Big Ten. It's also going to you, Kirk. You make millions of dollars. What are you complaining about? All you do is talk about football. You're not going to get hurt. A lot of these kids, look, when they go out on that field, it is dangerous. This is the most dangerous sport in the world. I mean, if I went out there, they'd have to carry me off on a stretcher the first play. And probably any of you, if you're watching this thing. I mean, that's just the reality. It's a very dangerous sport. And if they're getting some money, and look, the big money's only going to go to a handful who, when they go to the NFL, are going to get it anyway. But anyway, he doesn't like it, but he sure likes all those millions of dollars that he's getting from it, from those kids going out there and risking themselves. One prime example, Kirk said, is Tennessee's recruitment of Nico and a reported $8 million deal. Ooh, that's upsetting to him. I think that's over like 3 years or something. That may be as much as he makes. Who knows? That's probably why he's mad. How can an adult with a good conscience say this is awesome for the sport? What's going to happen when the kid from Warren, for an example, hopefully he's a great player, but with the reports about him receiving 3 years, $8 million, what if he doesn't? Oh no, the world will end. How are those guys in Knoxville going to feel about that? How's it going to go over in a locker room? You know how it is. You know. No, I don't know, Kirk. I just find it amazing that a guy that's making millions of bucks talking about those kids running around on that field, taking huge risks with concussions and all the things that can happen to them. Look, when I played at University of Tennessee on the golf team, I never got hurt. I didn't have to worry about it. But let me tell you who did get hurt all the time were the football players. I called Gibbs Hall General Hospital because there was always at least 5 or 10 guys either in casts or just couldn't hardly get around. They were broke up and beat to death. And Johnny Majors was the coach at that time, and you know he was tough at practice. And those guys would come in, they'd get in the elevator, and I'd be in there, you know, with my golf hat on and my golf bag, you know, barely broke a sweat all day. These guys barely got into the elevator. They would just lean against the wall, and they'd look at me and go, man, I should have played golf. What was I thinking? I mean, they were beat to death. It was unbelievable. And like I said, I know Johnny Majors didn't take it easy on him. You know, he was old school. So it's not an easy sport by any stretch. And most of the guys aren't going to get anything except some nagging injuries and maybe even some head problems later on from the concussions that they get. So he couldn't be more of a hypocrite.
My hypocrisy goes only so far.
Yeah, well, it goes real far for Kirk, that's for sure. And this is really annoying, and I know Vol Nation's not happy about this. You know, he's going to take some grief over it. You can count on it.
I think this situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
We're just the guys to do it.
Absolutely, a futile and stupid gesture. And that's what I'm doing right now. So take that, Kirk. Yep, millions for me is okay, according to Kirk. But nobody else better get it, especially recruits. They better not get $1. It's okay if I get all these millions. That's typical of the national media. It's what they do. And if you like this content, be sure to hit the like button. That's okay if you don't like this content. It makes me mad too. Hit that like button if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. And if you want to subscribe, that's cool too. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.